to be making a magic ring. So this is basically what I like to do. I like to get the end right here. I like to get my first 2 fingers, hold it, and then I like to make an X. So you see that X right there. And then you're gonna get your 3.25 millimeter hook. And then you're gonna feed it through right here. And then yarn over. And then you're gonna do that. So let's go ahead and do that again, one more time. You have your end right here. I like to leave a pretty long end, so probably about the size of your hand. I like to leave that. You're going to get your 2 fingers, yarn over, go over, and you have your X. Then you're going to go get your hook, and you see how I have my hook. So you can go under. It's kind of not focusing right now. You can go under. You're gonna grab right here, and then yarn over. So you're basically kind of like yarning over for a double crochet. So there is my magic ring, and then you can yarn over, and you're gonna make 3 chains. So there's, I don't like to count this one because it basically comes undone. So you have 1, 2, and 3. This is going to be your first double crochet. So how to make a double crochet? Going to yarn over. Let me show you again. Yarn over, go under, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So there we go. You're going to yarn over, go under your loop, yarn over, keep that on that loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. So now you have your first cluster. Now you're going to crochet, you're going to crochet 2 chains. Now you're going to yarn over and do 3 more double crochets. You have your second cluster, and then you're going to chain 2. And then do your third cluster of 3 double crochets. There's your third double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and pull this a little bit because I'm getting a little short on the string. I'm going to crochet 2 more. And then you're going to crochet another 3 double crochet. Your third, 1, 2, 3, your fourth cluster. You're going to make 4 clusters of double crochets. And you're going to chain 2. And then you're going to get your yarn, pull it tight, pull it tight, and then you'll put it in that loop right there of the first chain. A lot of people like to start right here, but I really don't like how that looks because it kind of points towards this way. So what we're going to do next is we are going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then 3. Chain 3. and then that is going to be your first double crochet. So you're going to make 2 more double crochets, and this is starting off as your second round. I had to pull that out and fix that because I messed up right there. Hang on. Yep, I messed up again. Alright. Sometimes with Hobby Lobby yarn, it gets really like stringy, and I really don't like it because it does that. So let's do your third one. So now you have your first cluster. You're going to chain 2. This is the confusing part in some people. And at this same hole right here, you're going to do 3 more double crochets. Okay, now you're going to go into this next hole. And do 3 more double crochets. So I kind of went a little ahead of y'all. Okay, so kind of see where this is going. You have your clusters, and then another hole, clusters, hole, clusters, close. Alright, so the other end of round 2, you're going to crochet in this top of your first double crochet. You are going to slip stitch. And then the next 2, actually next 3, 1, 2, 3, you are going to slip stitch. Okay. I always like to count and make sure I actually have 3 at each corner. One time I did mess up. So for this next corner, side, this is where it gets a little tricky. You're going to do 3 double crochets right here. And then what you did here, you're going to do the exact same thing here. And then what you did here, you're going to do the exact same thing here. So let's do 3 double crochets. One, 2. From now on, I'm going to speed it through this process. Okay, so now we're at the end of row 3. 1, 2, 3. So, you're going to get to your end of through your first double crochet, slip stitch, and then slip stitch to the next one, slip stitch to the next one, and then slip stitch to right here. From this whole third row, you're going to repeat, and then I'll see you at the end of row 4. I've reached at the end of row 4. We will not be making any more rounds past this, because this will be the size of your tree. For example, that is the size reference, which you will see here in a minute. So what we're going to do here is we're going to slip stitch into this first double crochet. A lot of people like to end right there, but since it's so close to your last cluster, I like to weave in, basically create more slip stitches in the next few stitches in order for it to stay in. So you're basically like weaving it in a way. So we're going to stop right here. We're going to get your scissors. I like to leave quite a bit, so probably about 2 feet or 3, depending on how long you want it. So now we're going to get started on the tree making itself. So we're gonna slip stitch and feed our yarn all the way through. So let me stretch this out. So this is what basically a granny square looks like. Don't worry about this part right here. We will fix this string and at the end. So what we are going to do, since this is our exit strand, I like to start at this corner. So we are going to combine these 2 corners together. So you're basically starting like a triangle, but we are only sewing in this spot right here. And I can see the spot where I messed up, but that won't matter at the end. So we are going to get our sewing needle, this little guy right here, and we are going to get our yarn, and we are going to feed her in. I am struggling today with this yarn, apparently. Nope, that did not work. Okay. What you can also do if you don't have a yarn threader, I like to just bend it, and then you can go like that as well. So I'm gonna get a stitch marker. That's what actually those things are called. These stitch markers, and I'm going to clip one together, like the corner together, to help y'all see a little bit, because if that will help to basically hold it together. So we're going to get our stitch marker, and then we are basically going to be sewing it in. So this is basically just how I sew it in. I get the top of the chains. This right here is a chain. This right here is a chain. So I like to weave it in through each train. However you say it. And then you practically do the same. because it really won't matter in the end, and try to keep a long string like that because your string will come loose. It really won't matter in the end, but I'm going to try to focus. There we go. And am I on screen? Yes, I am. Let's go to the third one down. And then go to the next one. And you'll do this a couple more times, and I will speed through until I get to the corner right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this stitch marker out, and we are just gonna continue along. Just stop at this corner and I'll show you what to do next. So we are doing our last stitch. It's a little bit too bright. There we go. And then what I like to do is kind of fluff it out a little bit. And we basically have the base of our Christmas tree ready. So that is basically what it's looking like so far. But we are not finished yet. We are going to get our end, our corner, and smush it to this corner. So what we are going to do is continue stitching it up. You're going to stitch up to this corner, and then I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, now we've basically done this side. We are going to work our way back up here. We are going to continue to go down this corner right here. Since we got this corner, and this corner back up, we're gonna go ahead and double sew the corners all together. And then we're gonna work our way back up here. I know this is a lot of sewing, guys, but this is basically how I make my way up here to get the string for the Christmas tree, for the ornament. So I'll show y'all here in a minute on how to do that. So let's go ahead and continue sewing our way up here. Now at the top of our wonderful Christmas tree. So this is basically how I make our little hoop at the end. So let's feed it through, and you're gonna hold it right here at the very top until how you like your little hoop. So you're going to continue to hold that with your index finger, and then just continue to sew it through until you feel like it is secure. What I like to do the pull test. So we are fully done with the Christmas tree. Get our scissors, snap it off, and there we have it. Looks a little wonky. Okay, so now we are going to get this string right here and pull it tight. We're going to get our needle, our little friend here. Weave it through. I don't like that. don't like how stringy this yarn is either. Okay. And then I'm going to basically show y'all how to close up a magic ring. So this right here is your magic ring. So this is basically what I like to do. I've seen other people do it. Is basically round like twice, and then I go top to bottom, and then I go sideways. Come on down. Okay, so I can't seem to get that off. So what we're just gonna do is just gonna cut that. And it got super duper knotted in there for some reason. Okay, so we are officially done with the main part of the project. It's so sticky cute. Okay, so grab your brown yarn, grab your hook or whatever hook size you want to use, and then you're gonna grab 2 stitch markers. This is basically how I do it, how I basically get it in the middle. So what I do is this cluster right here and this cluster right here, I put the stitch markers right there, and then I do the trunk. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but it has helped me because the very first one that I've made, just doing the hook onto the trunk without the stitch marker, it was not in the middle and it was driving me nuts. So this is basically what you're gonna do. You're gonna get your stitch marker, not like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, there we go. Get your stitch marker, place it right there in that cluster, and then you're gonna get your second stitch marker, place it right pretty close by it. So you see how it helps you get you in the middle? Yeah, that's what we're gonna focus on. So get your yarn, your brown yarn, your hook, and let's get started. So this is going to be really simple and really easy. If you already know how to do your slip knot, this is basically how I do it. I get the short end, go over your index finger, get the short end, make like an X right here, hold the short end, go over your index finger, and then you're going to go over that. So that is basically how I do a slip knot. Let me show you again. You're going to get the short end, go over your short end, go over your index finger, just like so. You're going to get the short end. Come on, focus. Focus. There you go. You need to get your short end, bring it over your long end, hold your short end, and it's going to be like an X. Get the long end that's attached to your ball or whatever you're using, go over, get your first loop, bring it over your second loop, and you have your slip knot. A lot of other people do it differently, but this is basically just how I do it and how I find it really simple and very easy. So you are basically, I might be a little out of frame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you're gonna go right here, right next to your stitch marker. This is basically how I like to hold my yarn. I go over my pinky and then over this. I don't know if I said that before. So you're gonna single crochet your very first stitch. No. Sorry, I got a little out of frame there. My yarn came off the hook. So you're gonna single crochet. You're gonna single crochet in your next little area. Your second single crochet. Then you're gonna do a third single crochet. Then you're gonna do a fourth single crochet. And then your fifth is right here at the stitch marker. So I'm basically just going to be showing you, whoops, what it looks like. So it basically looks like it's in the middle. So it looks a little wonky right now because it's not straight, but we'll take our stitch markers out. And then we are going to put our hoop back on our little guy. Right here, I'm going to chain 1. And then in this first loop right here, you're going to single crochet 5 in every single loop. 2, 3, 4, 5. So there you go, you have your first row. This one right here, I did 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna make 4 rows. So this is basically how you will flip your work. Chain 1, flip your work, single crochet in each loop all the way down. Now you're on row 3. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, flip your work, single crochet all the way down. Yeah, that's right. So there we have it. Now we are going to cut our yarn and feed our yarn through. So there you have it, your Christmas tree. So what we're going to do next is we're going to weave in our yarn over here. What I like to do, weaving it in, since I kind of have like a long string, I go through every single chain right here. I'm kind of looking through my screen at the moment. And this is basically okay, and you're gonna cut. And then you're gonna do the same thing right here. So this is basically what I do. Yeah. Now I'm going to cut it off. And there you have it. Your beautiful Christmas tree ornament. So, if you guys like this video, please be sure to like it and also subscribe as well. I will try to make videos on a weekly basis with you guys. I am fairly new to filming, so yeah. But if you end up liking this channel, please do subscribe. Everything that I used in the description, everything that I've used in this video will be in the description down below. All my social medias will be in the description down below as well. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.